Welcome to These Are the Blades of Our Lives, the figure skating show where I talk to you about figure skating like it is drama for our mamas. On today's episode, I will be recapping the 2023 Junior World Figure Skating Championship. Guys, I was in my bliss this weekend. This is the kind of figure skating that I love to watch. It was like those glorious 1990s, early 2000 era. I had a moment. It was beautiful. Starting with the pairs, junior pairs was the most dramatic thing I had seen in a while. So all of our prayers are going to Coach Todd Sand, who had a heart attack doing this competition. I have been seeing online that he's doing much better, and I'm so happy to hear that. I hope he's able to make a full recovery and is able to get back to, his full healthy self as soon as possible. Now, with pairs, I did get the top four correct, but I didn't get the gold and silver medal correct. Starting with a pewter, you know how much I love me a good pewter medalist. Our pewter here was the young Japanese team, Haruna Murakami and Sumida Muraguchi. This team has a lot of work to do. However, they also have a lot of potential. Their biggest roadblock for me is the twist. He doesn't really get her that high up in the air. He doesn't really catch her properly. She's not fully rotated. They don't do the hand drop to their side. I think if they can work on it and get themselves a good twist, the next season they can really find themselves on top of the podium for the Grand Prix series. They already have great side by side. They're both strong individual skaters. They have good basic skating skill, which is something you find across, the entire Japanese skating federation. So I think if they could just get that twist together, they are going to do really well next season. The bronze medal went to Violeta Sirova and Ivan Kobat. I love the look of this team. For me, they are the best match pairs in juniors. They have great lines. They have a beautiful ice presence. They make a beautiful picture. Their side by side and throws need a little bit of work, but their twist just beautiful. I think if they continue to grow at the rate at which they're growing, I can see them on the podium at Europeans in a couple of years when they eventually make their way up to the senior level. The silver, whom I had put in the gold position, went to Anastasia Golubeva and Hector Giatopoulos Moore. The pair was on their way to one of their best short program this season. That is until Hector lost his toe pick in the death drop and they could not continue the rotation of the death drop. Hector appeared to be competing with an injured knee. I cannot stop saying this. Health comes first. Before any competition, the health of the athlete should come first. I'm pretty sure that these young athletes want to compete regardless of the status of their health, but that's when the adult in the room needs to step in and make a decision. I do not feel like this young pair needed to compete at this competition for this junior title when one of the team members, Hector, was injured. But this whole ideology of skating through the pain or competing through the pain is still something that we have to overcome as a society. But regardless of them not winning junior, I think given the fact that they have a good twist, good side by side, good throw, they have world class element, when they do make their transition to senior next year, I can definitely see them going up the rank, especially if things stay the way it is right now and the field does not get more difficult. Now, the winners, whom I only gave a 30% chance of winning to, was none other than Sofia Baram and Danielle Tinumentsev. Now, one of the commenters, Karen Wallace, says that Sophia goes by Sonia. So I will use that, Sonia. So thank you, Karen Wallace. This was such a like heartwarming win right here. With their coach Todd hospitalized, this team came out and still gave it their all. All of their element except the throws are already competitive, already senior level. Hopefully, the rules for the juniors will be modified and this team will have a chance to defend their title next year. But I was so happy to see them come out and do so well, especially given the situation, and be able to like walk away with a medal. And when they realized that they had won the world title, their reaction was just so genuine. It was just, it's so nice to see that kind of reaction and the kiss and cry to win and to be joyous about winning because you put in so much effort, so much hard work, and to see that being paid. That's the kind of image I want for figure skating. Pairs was really just, it was really a feel good story for me. From pairs, we had the complete chaos of nervousness that was the men's competition. I mean, the men are just so inconsistent across the field, across country, which in itself is so consistent because it's not as if like the American men are inconsistent, the Chinese men are inconsistent, the Canadian men are inconsistent, and it's an isolated situation. They're all inconsistent across the board, which is just fascinating to see. So starting with extreme and consistent, we had Young Dong Chen. He literally had a very poor showing in the short program. He was 14th place after the short program, only to come back and finish as high as fifth in the free dance. Chen has a really good jump technique. When he's on. But you just don't know when he's on. And he is yet to deliver a clean short program all season. I'm hoping this is something that he can grow out of. And by the time he makes his way to the senior circuit next season, he's able to give us two clean programs because his jump technique really is quite good. And I would love to see him do two clean programs. Then we had my poor baby Lucas Broussard. Oh, he's going through the growing pain of puberty and he is also trying to up his technical difficulty as he's going through a growth spur. That is never easy. That is never the best situation to do that. The sad part out of all of this was had Lucas and his team just decided to do triple triples and a few double axles while delivering the kind of program that only Lucas could deliver, he probably would have been on the podium. The rest of the men with their quad and their triple axel did so bad that had he pulled a Jason Brown and just done triple triples, a couple of double axel, and then delivered on the PCS, he would have been on the podium. But instead, he went for the quad, he went for the triple axel, and that is really what brought him down so bad. But even with the falling on the jumps, the skating, the in between part was so finished, so polished. I really hope like next season, it's either they decide to stick with beautiful program or they really work on him getting a solid ground in terms of doing the difficulty because Lucas is a talent. Then we had Wesley Chu. So last year, Wesley was second after the short program. Come the long program, he ended up fourth. This year, Wesley was second after the short program. Come the long program, he ended up fourth. The free program is just not a friend to Wesley Chu. And I would have to say at this point, he really needs to evaluate either his training, his stamina, his environment, because if he could just do a long program to match his short program, he could be medaling. He could be competitive. But the fact that his long program is always a hot mess, this is where we are with Wesley Chu. Then we have Nikolai Mamola. So Nikolai finished just off the podium. This was Nikolai's weakest outing this season. However, I still see so much promise in him. I think with him, it might just be he was tired. He has competed so much this season. And I feel like at the point, the possibility of getting a medal at Junior World, the pressure, the expectation, knowing this is the end of his, season, I think all of that just got the better of him and he was just off the podium. I still think, there's a lot of potential in this young man. Our surprise silver medalist, was Nozomi Yoshika. Like, what do I say about Nozomu? He has the jump power. I will give him that. However, everything else is just not there for me. And this is odd because usually Japanese skaters have great skating skill, but Nozomu is one of those rare skaters that does not have the basic Japanese skating skills. He appears to be one of those skaters who is completely jump centered at the point where he just lets everything else go. And I feel like that's really gonna hamper him from progressing. When you come from a country like Japan where the field is so deep, you have to be a well rounded skater in order for you to stand out. And if he keeps focusing solely on his jump and does not become a well rounded skater, I think that's going to be problematic for him in the long run. Then, oh my goodness, the silver medal, Naoki Rossi, very surprising silver medalist for me. Exciting, expressive, chaotic. These are all of the terms that I think fit Naoki so well. He is giving me shades of Kevin Amos. I feel like I'm going to invest wholeheartedly in this skater, and then I'm going to have to go through the rides of the up, the down, the joy, the despair. I just see it coming. Yet, because I am all about that drama, I'm fully invested in him. For me, one of the skates that I enjoyed the most at men's world at the 2023 men's world championship. And then of course the winner as expected was Kyle Mura. This was a great end of the season for Kyle and also the end to this program. I'm very happy. I hope they pick better music and a better packaging for him next season. Kyle, without a doubt, has great jump technique, but he has no ice presence. It is non existing. So I hope when they are picking his music and they are creating his program next year, they do so keeping in mind that they need to bring out more of his performance, more of his character, more of his ability to project and connect with the audience. I feel like when you're coming from the skating nation that gave us Yuzuru Hanyu, that gave us Shomo Uno, you have to give a little more to really be able to stand out. And although he has the jumping ability expected of a top man, he just doesn't have that extra it factor that really tells us, oh, Kyle Mura is on the ice. By the time we got to the ice dance, I was in skating heaven. Oh my God, there was so many lovely performances in the ice dance portion. So many just lovely skaters that I hope they stay together because I would love to see how they grow. Ice dance was just a delightful surprise. I picked the top three. However, I was completely wrong with the order of the top three. So our pewter, as always, was the young British team, Phoebe Becker and James Hernandez. I had them in fourth place. The judges put them in fourth place, and I feel like that was the right placement for them. Their long program, especially the packaging of that long program, did nothing for me this season. I love the rhythm dance, and the rhythm dance, they look expensive, they look classy, they look well put together. And the free, not so much. And I'm sorry, skating is an aesthetic driven sport. The packaging matter. Any sport where you are judged, the packaging matter. And for me, that free dance, just it really wasn't it for me. I really hope they come back stronger next season with a more mature feel to them, and that they pay a little more attention to the detail in their packaging. That's just what I thought about Phoebe and James. In third place, and so very unexpected, were the Canadians, whom I had put in first place. I think the pressure of coming in as the favorite, the pressure of a world title on the line, the pressure of having to skate and deliver it at home was simply too much for them. Now, they are a very proficient pair, very secure and very aggressive in their skating. However, at this competition, they were tentative. There was a nervous energy to them. They weren't settled in themselves and in the ice. And I think it is the pressure just getting to them. Now they have to make the decision to decide whether they're going to remain as a junior team or if they're going to go into the seniors next year. Now, I hope they decide to stay in juniors and try again next year to try to get the title, because I do think they could become junior world champion because they're that talented. And I feel like they're going to be driven to do it given the outcome that they had at this junior world championship. And then the surprise of the night for me in silver was Hannah Lynn and Yi Kwan, one of my favorite junior team this season, and they delivered beyond my expectation. I mean, Hannah was giving us Miss D level of face for days. I am so invested in this team, and I want to see how they grow. I also want to see what the team in Montreal come up for them for next season. I mean, the growth that this pair has had from last year to this year is really amazing. But more importantly, to actually see three out of the four disciplines, that is ladies, men, and now ice dance, all growing rapidly in South Korea is just wonderful, which means if the South Korean Federation can get a decent pair team put together, maybe not this Olympic, but 8 years from now, they may actually have a chance at a team medal. And then our winner and comeback story was Katerina Markova and Danielle Macras. What a fighter this team is. After the Grand Prix final, they either had one or two options. They were either going to come back fighting, they were going to come back stronger and better than ever and show that what happened at the Grand Prix final was a fluke, or they were going to continue down this spiral, and they chose to come back fighting. In the short program, they were a little nervous. You could see it. They weren't at their best. But in the free, they were determined. They were going to do whatever it takes to stay on their feet and to deliver the best possible program that they could. And the judges and the audience, we were there supporting them because we wanted to see them have that positive turnaround. And it was so good to see them finish this competition, finish this season on an all-time high with the junior world title and a gold medal. Guys, I love a feel good story. I love a comeback story. And figure skating was giving me comeback stories. And then finally, we have the women. This is what I want to see in skating. This nail biting, not knowing, no predetermination, voting skating. I mean, this really was anyone's game. In the short program, the difference between sixth and first place was less than 10 points. The top two were separated by 0.59, half of a point. I enjoyed this competition so much. This is the skating that I love. Not everything was rosy at this event. There was some rough outing, especially for the U.S. women who lost their three spot for next year's Worlds. I mean, with an 8th place finish for Claire So and a 15th place finish for Soho Lee, their combined score was only good enough for 2 spots, which means the U.S. ladies will not be 3 at the next Junior World. Now, for the longest time, I always wondered, why does the U.S. Figure Skating Federation favor Tammy Gamble so much, given the fact that she is the queen of teaching under rotated jumps? However, now I know. Now I know it is because Tammy Gamble is able to produce skaters who can deliver when it counts. Let us not forget how many times Miss Karen Chen saved those spots for the U.S. women. And again, another Tammy skater so came and saved the U.S. ladies because it was looking like the ship was going to sink. So even though the U.S. ladies lost that 3rd spot, it could have been so much worse if not for a Tammy skater. So I guess that's why they keep her around. While some were losing spots, others were gaining spot. Canada's Kaya Ruther earned 2 spots for Canada with her top 10 finish. I feel like this is a wake-up call for Madeline Chazard. If Madeline has another difficult outing at Senior Worlds, I can see Canada start to back Kaya as their next national ladies women's champion. Also gaining 2 spots for Georgia was Enga Gugenes. What a little fighter she is, coming from 19th place all the way up to 7th place by landing 2 triple axels, 1 in combination. I want to see how Inga grows. I want to see where she goes next season. I want to see if the triple axel is built on a sound foundation and if her jump technique can last with her through puberty. But she has guts. She has fire. She has gumption. Another person who earned 2 spots was Kimmy Rippon, who got 2 spots from Switzerland. However, after the 10th place finish in the short program, you could already see it on Kimmy's face. She was confused. It was like her brain was saying, but I'm the European bronze medalist. What is with this 10th place finish? Kimmy, you may be a bronze medalist for the senior European championship, but these junior little ladies are baby sharks. Baby shark, 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 shark. They will eat you up. They are not playing. But I was so happy to see Kimmy come back even stronger in the long program and ending up with a sixth place finish. You could tell that she has the competitive mindset that it takes to build a champion. I think she has the possibility of maybe having another sixth place finish at Senior Worlds if the senior ladies do not come to deliver. Now for our top six young women, starting with N. Zhang Ying. She had spins to die for, musical, performative, projective. This skater has ice presence and she has that it factor. Next season, Anne will compete in seniors, and I already see her on the podium at some of these Grand Prix events. I think if they give her two good programs, they package her like they did this year, she is going to do very well on the senior Grand Prix circuit. They do need to take this off season period to work on her jump. From the start of the Junior Grand Prix to the end of Junior World, you could see that she had a growth spur. You could see puberty is hitting her especially hard. So they do need to take that into account. They do need to go back to the to the to the starting board and they do need to rework on those jumps. But otherwise, so much that I just like about this skater. Then in fifth place, we have Minso Kwan. Oh, the cuteness. I actually thought it was a brilliant idea that her team gave her the music from Cats. Kwan was enjoying singing to that music so much that her body just went into like auto drive. Her body just delivered the jumps naturally. She wasn't thinking about what jump comes next and trying to plan the jump. She was just letting her body do it naturally. This is a skater with the it factor. This is a skater that knows how to project to the audience, that knows how to skate to the audience, that invites us into her skating for the ride along to enjoy it along with her. Now, the question is, how will puberty affect her jump? How will puberty affect the joy that she has for skating, the ability that she has to perform? Will she be able to maintain all of those things as she grows? Then in fourth place, we had UJ Kim. Beautiful packaging. Just beautiful packaging. Nice soft knees and a lovely triple axel. But UJ has nothing that she does bad, but she also has nothing that she does great either. She's just one of those skaters that is there just doing their job very well. And I feel like finding that thing that makes UJ unique, that makes her stand out in the crowd, is the homework that her team needs to take on for next season. But otherwise, just lovely knees, just soft landing, just wonderful. Our bronze medalist here was Ami Nakai, helping Japan secure that three spots. And we know the Japanese ladies desperately needed three spot because they are so deep in Japan. Like the women, the men, they are just so deep that they need all the spots that they could get. This is a lovely skater. It's unfortunate that the triple axel didn't work for her here. However, her knee bent straight back in the air, her soft extended landing. This is just textbook jumping. This is another skater who makes an impression on the audience. I really feel like Ami can become a truly special skater if she is managed well. Really looking forward to seeing what she does next season. Our silver medal here was Jia Chen. A great short program. A great short program. Gia was practically tied for the lead after the short program. However, the long was another story. This was the most out of her body that I have seen Gia all season. I cannot imagine the pressure that Gia was under. This was her second chance at a world title. This was the closest she's gotten to a world title. Not to mention the endless competition that she has had to do all season. I can only try to imagine what that level of pressure would do to an adult, let alone a child. I think everything just kind of combined and came crushing in on Gia during the long program. And her, in a moment of just not focusing, her body gave out and she had that freak fall. I feel like this skater has everything. She really does. But if she doesn't learn to be in her body when she skates, then she's never going to get to that next level. However, this was a well-deserved silver medal for Gia. Again, another skater that I cannot wait to see next season, to see what kind of program her team gives her, to see how they elevate her, to see how she grows. And who knows, maybe next year will be her chance to finally get that world junior title. But I really do hope that the South Korean skating union decide to reduce the number of competition they have, because they are really just wearing out these skaters. And then finally, we got to Miss Mao Shimata, who owned that gold medal. There was no question after that free skate who the winner was. The joy that was coming off of Mao as she skate was just beautiful to see. After the nightmare that we have been subjugated to in skating, to be able to see a skater with so much openness and joy. I mean, the ice coverage, speed, musicality, knee bend, edge control. Not just the edge control was not just for the baby hair, it was for the ice. Baby Mao was giving us a master class on skating. This was her TED talk, and she was dropping nothing but toe picks. This was a cleansing of my figure skating spirit. This was a return to quality of skating. We now see that you do not have to sacrifice originality and artistry in order to deliver the technical aspect of the sport. We now see that both can coexist beautifully. And when both the artistry and the technicality coexist, we are really adhering to the spirit of figure skating, and it is at its most beautiful. I mean, I feel like we really could have a rejuvenation of figure skating. Unfortunately, at the same time, I am very terrified that the ISU will shit this thing up the same way they have been shitting figure skating up for so long. But regardless of what is to come, I just enjoy Junior World so much, especially the ladies competition. I cannot remember the last time I enjoyed a ladies junior world so much. Now I'm really looking forward to senior worlds, and I hope the seniors deliver the way the junior women skaters delivered. But anyhow, let me know what you guys thought about the skating.